Hello everybody and welcome back to another portfolio update on the TD Ameritrade portfolio. We are currently sitting at $3,758.54 on the account. And we're just going to go over my P&L real quick. So my P&L overall is only down $143.46 all time, which is about a 3.68% loss. And we're back to beating SPY and by only 0.17%, but still regardless, we're beating SPY. As you can see, the portfolio chart here, the blue line is me and the yellow line is SPY. You can see we had a crazy run up this week that I'm going to cover. So I think last week was around, I have to check on that, but we basically have just been rallying this entire week. You can see my year-to-date gains is pretty crazy. I have $220 in year-to-date gains and a year-to-date P&L of 5.83%, which is really good. And if we go over to my positions, you'll notice that I have way less positions than I had last week. I think I had about 8 or 9 positions last week, but now you'll notice I only have 4. I sold my Robinhood shares and then I bought back a ton of options, and we're going to go over that now. So we started off the week by buying back an ET option at 1 cent, so made full profit on that. Then on the same day we also bought back a SoFi put at 1 cent for full profit. And then on the 11th, so 2 days later, we bought back a Palantir put for full profit. And then 2 days after that, we also bought back a SoFi put for full profit. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4 fully profitable trades this week. And then if we look at Robinhood here, I bought back my Robinhood call option to release the collateral of the shares, and then I sold the shares at the same time. So my reasoning for doing this, because obviously the option still had a lot of value left in it, right? Well, since this option was so deep in the money, the time value of the option had basically become 0. It was about $5 in time value. So my thought process was I'll close out my position on Robinhood, and so instead of waiting 2 weeks to earn $5 in time value and risk the underlying shares dropping again, I just wanted to close my position entirely and just make up that $5 in a different trade and release that collateral, just because I didn't want to have to worry about Robinhood stock because it's very, very volatile. So that was my idea there. And if we look at the stats for each stock, my Ford is only down 152 overall, and that's not factoring in the short call. My Energy Transfer is up 0.5% because I closed that put option, as you can see, for a debit of $1. Palantir is looking really good. My Palantir shares have gone up quite significantly since the last video, so you can see that my overall profit and loss on Palantir is about 13% gain or $91 gain, which is really good. If we move on to SoFi, you can see SoFi has been just an incredible stock for me. I'm up 7% on SoFi in 93 days. And this is literally just, as you can see, I've just been selling put options and they've just never been assigned. This is what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 put options I've sold at pretty much the same strike price for some huge gains on my collateral in very few days. And these strikes have just never been touched, and I've never had to worry about getting assigned on SoFi. So I'm just going to keep wheeling this with the good opportunities I keep getting lined up for on SoFi. And then we move on to Robinhood. You can see my overall P&L on Robinhood. Everything in Robinhood is currently closed. I do not have any open positions in Robinhood, and we're currently in the green on Robinhood by $2, which is not bad. I mean, it's obviously not wonderful, but in the position we were in before, we were down about $150 on this. So to have made all that back and gone green again, I'm very happy and very willing to close out my positions on that. And I'm not sure if I'll be looking to wheel this again. I might discontinue this stock. As you can see, the financials are really, really poor on Robinhood stock. Obviously, they have good options, but that doesn't really matter when your stock's core is really poor. So I'm not sure if I'm going to keep wheeling Robinhood. I might forget about Robinhood and move on to just wheeling SoFi more or Energy Transfer. I really like Energy Transfer. I also like Ford. I probably like Energy Transfer the most, but their options are not super volatile, so there's not a lot of premium there. And you'll notice here, I also have been looking at a new stock called Camping World. And I'm pretty interested in Camping World because they have a high dividend yield. As you can see here, 10% dividend yield paid out quarterly, and they also have very volatile and liquid options. So potentially looking into starting a wheel on Camping World to replace some of these lower rated stocks that I have, because Camping World has a rating of 15 on my little scale, whereas like Palantir's 1 and SoFi 6. Robinhood is literally -2, so that's pretty bad. But moving on from that, no new stock positions, no deposits, and you can see my January return is actually in the red for premium, even though my capital gains are way in the green, and this is just because I had to buy back that hood option for a loss. So we're just going to have to keep that in mind. And then if we continue on, let's go into paper trading real quick. So this, I don't know, this might have been in the last video, but I closed this option in my paper trading for basically full profit. I bought the spread back at 1 cent, sold it for 7, so I made the $6 difference. As you can see, here's the P&L chart. Moving on, I closed this Iron Condor for full profit that I opened before the previous video, so you can see it expired yesterday on Friday. I sold it for $17 and I bought it back for 1, so I made the $16 profit difference there. So that was very good, 5% return on that in about 11 days. Moving forward, we have a call credit spread that I also closed for full profit. I sold for $14 and I bought back for $1, making the $13 difference there, which is 4% on the collateral of $300, which is really good. And finally, we have an open call credit spread currently, and let's see. So we're at 398.50. If we go to the 13th and go down to 398, there you go. So this spread is currently down about $4 on $300 of collateral, so it's down about 1.3% so far, but I'm just going to let this ride. Obviously, there's a lot of theta decay that needs to come into play, and as long as SPY does not go up to 417 in a week, then we'll be fine, and I'm pretty sure SPY does not have that in it, and if it does, then the rest of my positions will make a ton of money, so I'm happy with that. So yeah, my goal with the paper trading here is just to basically practice trading spreads, and I have a little rule set over here that I'm currently developing this. And as I develop it, as I get better, eventually, maybe after 2 months or so, I'll start actually trading spreads on my TD Ameritrade portfolio, because I think they're a really good way of bringing in more income in my portfolio. Obviously, this is for passive income. So to be able to bring in extra income on small amounts of collateral would just be really great. So yeah, I'm just looking to practice this and to get better. But yeah, I think that is just about everything. Thank you for watching this week's portfolio update, and I'll see you next week.